Hello, everyone. Happy Tuesday. It's great to be with you. Steve Wormer here with the You Are Worthy Network. I'm super excited today to introduce all of you to a friend of mine, someone that's been a mentor to me in I guess you could say the technology world, but the entrepreneurial space for sure as well. And I apologize for getting on here a little bit later today, but better late than never, as they say. But I hope you guys are having a great start to your week. I'm super excited to introduce you to our guest today, the owner and founder of the Be Awesome Network, and Lori Phillips. It's great to have you with us.
Thank you, Steve. I'm very excited about this because, like you said, we've been working together and it's been a really great journey to observe your development in this space, right? So when you kicked this off, I was like, yes, yes, yes. I'm so excited. Such a great message. You are worthy, and it's important message to spread. So
Well, you've been such a huge help to me. I'm really, really grateful. Lori, why don't you tell the network where you're from, a little bit about your family, and we'll go from there.
awesome. Okay, I will do that. I am from Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. I've lived here all my life, basically, minus 4 years in college. And my family is all here. And it's interesting because last year I took about a 6 month break and went to Florida and pretty much fell in love with Florida. And I'm going back. So I'll be a Floridian moving forward. But my heart is always in Oklahoma. So, and I don't know if I'll be a snowboard bird, you know how they say they go in winter and come back. I don't know if I'll do that, but I will definitely be back to Oklahoma. So that's kind of where I am as far as my family. I have 3 kids and they're all adults now. And that's why I get to kind of have this freedom that is newfound and wonderful.
Wow. So that's hot off the press that you're moving shortly. When is that going to take place? Do you know?
Well, it's funny that you ask because I put my apartment on Facebook for my friends. And yesterday I actually put like a highlight on it. I hadn't done that yet. And someone reached out to me about it and wants to move in September 1st. That is in 1 week. So
Wow.
I won't be
Things are
moving. Yeah, I can't move that fast, but I will be staying with friends until I can get, everything together to move. So I'm excited. I'm very excited. So yeah,
I can
you're the first to know, hot off the press.
well, and several hundred people are going to hear right along with us here shortly this afternoon, I'm sure. That's exciting though. So I want to talk about your network. And you guys, if you saw in my notes yesterday, I put a link to Lori's network, the Be Awesome Network, in there because I want you to be able to check that out also. That's how I first came to know Lori, was I heard about this. I can't even remember where I heard about it. It probably came across my Facebook somewhere, or somebody I knew was being interviewed by Lori. I'm not sure, but um, forgive me if I quote the numbers a little off, but Lori's had the Be Awesome Network for what, 15 months maybe?
Yeah, so June, July, August, 14. Yeah, 14 months.
Okay. And it exploded to 17,000 plus in the first year. Do I have that right? Ballpark?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Um, which is crazy growth. And a lot of that is because of your work ethic.
Mm.
You just serve, serve, serve. A lot of that is your authenticity. I've experienced that. I met Lori when she interviewed me. I don't even know how long ago it was. It was maybe 10 months ago. And we've had many conversations since then. She's the real deal. And so I want you guys to be able to check out her network as well and the great work that she's doing. But tell us your vision behind starting it. And let's just start there. What was your vision behind starting it?
Yeah, that's a great question. in my whole entire life, I feel like I've served or lived or, my supported other people, which I'm very natural at, for whatever reason. I don't know why, but it just seemed like every job I took and then, get married, have kids, and you just kind of cater to, you just mold your life after taking care of your kids. Now, I mean, I still, prioritized things in my life. I didn't totally sell out to everyone else, but I feel like this time in my life, I had a message or something was bubbling up inside of me, right? So I went through a really hard season in life where I got divorced and my health declined and there was a lot of stress at work. So I was actually at home for a year recuperating from a big neurological crash is all I can how I can explain it.
Mm.
I literally had to have people come over and cook for me. In some cases, like when I was really weak, they were actually cutting my food because I mean, it was bad. And I know other people face these kind of challenges because of stress, and that's really where I was. But I had never experienced something because I'd always been so performance oriented. And like you mentioned my work ethic, I was a competitive gymnast. So growing up from 4 to basically 21 or 2, I was in the gym, and at one point 4 hours a day, 6 days a week. So
Wow.
yeah, so that's where my work that's where my work ethic came from, and that's where my desire to be excellent came from. But what I didn't realize is that that's also where my crash came from because I was pushing through pain. Your coaches tell you, tape up the ankle, go out there. We've all seen it. Like in the Olympics, Carrie Strug, we saw her perform her vault on, I don't know if it's a torn ligament or what it was, but she literally landed on one foot. And our America won, the USA team won because of that vault. So it's like that's kind of the way that I was raised and where I was with my life when that happened. So the vision behind the Be Awesome Network is after I recovered, I started prioritizing myself and learning to take care of myself in a different way, take care of my nervous system, understand the cues that come up that help you realize that I was pushing through that pain, the anxiety, the fight or flight. Realize when that comes up, you need to take a break. And so I
Mm.
started to do that, started to eat better, started to get into yoga, and that was also helpful. So when I came out of that season and I realized I had really been supporting other people and kind of living my life for other people, people pleasing, that kind of thing, I decided that I wanted to do something for me. And that's what brought on the trip to Florida last year. And that's when I launched the network because it was a vision of my own that I could pursue. I've also always been a cheerleader. I love to encourage people. And you know that, Steve.
Yep, you're very good at it.
So to tell people they're awesome every single day is just a blessing to me. It gives me joy to actually support other people. But it's in a new way, right? I'm not sacrificing myself to do it. So that's kind
Yeah.
of the vision and the why behind the Be Awesome Network. And I promise everyone in the network that when they come in and watch something, they're going to be told they're awesome. If I'm on the screen, just stay tuned because, at the end, I'll say you're awesome. And what I love about that is that, how many times a day, Steve, do you get told that you're awesome?
Usually not any.
Right. So it's my promise every day. If you come to the
Mm.
network, you'll be told you're awesome. So if you want to hear that message and you're feeling like you need motivated or you're feeling like you need a lift, then come to the network. And I feel like that's kind of the tune that you're also playing here in the You Are Worthy network.
Yeah, there's definitely some similarities in our vision. There's definitely some synergy. I was gonna ask you this a little later, but since you've already camped on kind of your lowest point if you will, a couple of years. Was that 2, 3 years ago, you said?
Yeah, 22, 3 years.
Okay. So my reason for you are worthy is I like to reiterate this during every interview because if you're watching this today, then whatever you've overcome in your past, how dark it was, you were worthy then. You were worthy then. You were special then. And whatever you're striving for now, whatever you're working towards, even if it's not happened yet or in the timing you thought it would, you're still worthy today, even as you're working on it.
Yeah.
But Lori, take us back to 2022. You probably didn't feel very worthy at that time, did you?
No, in fact, my whole life, that what everything I thought was important shifted, you know. So the job I was in, I was really pushing myself for a promotion and I didn't get it. So that was a disappointment. So that was like something that was stressful for me because I had worked so hard for it. My marriage was falling apart and there were things that my kids were struggling in a lot of ways. And so I had gone through, like, I would say, kids, marriage, work, like everything in my life, you know, besides my pet. And my pet did die. So
Oh no.
yeah. So, you know, those kind of things is like where we put our identity. I didn't realize I was putting my identity in those things because I always thought that I had a solid, um, confident view of myself and, you know, in my faith too. So I thought that I was balanced, but I wasn't. So obviously, when that came, I had to reevaluate exactly where I had been placing my value because I knew a lot. So what happened is since my marriage was crumbling, I put my identity in my job. And then when my job didn't crumble, but it was disappointing to me, um, when that fell through the cracks, then it was like, well, everything is gone, you know? So yeah, so that really taught me to go inside myself. So self-love is a very, very popular topic right now. There's a lot of people talking about it and how to do it. And so that was kind of what I had to do, is learn how to love myself at my lowest point. And then of course I have a relationship with God. So it was like when you're at your very worst, all you have is yourself, your faith, and your family and friends who come alongside of you and support you. So it was a very humbling experience, but it was also, you probably know this, in your struggles, when you go through struggles, you learn so much. And so looking back, I'm like, my life changed dramatically. I wouldn't change the fact that that happened to me. It was very, very hard. I was having panic attacks, anxiety attacks every single day for 20 to 30 minutes at a time, sometimes multiple. And these attacks, when I say they were excruciatingly painful, I'd never experienced it. It was like pins and needles, very painful. Like someone was just like, you know, poking you with pins
Mm,
and needles all over my body.
mm.
I was curled up in the fetal position and just trying to breathe, right? So it was a very desperate time for me. And so, of course, I'm trying to connect with God and breathe and connect with myself. And, you know, eventually those went away. But yeah, it was not fun.
Guys, I want you to really grab hold of what Lori has said today because we're gonna move on here in a second and talk about what she's excited about, the success that she's had. But just in the few minutes she's been talking about her lowest point so vulnerably, which I really appreciate, I think we can all relate. I mean, we're talking with someone that has overcome, and that's a lot of why I created this too, was to hear your overcoming stories.
Mhm.
She lost her husband, she lost her pet, she lost her job. She's occasionally having people cut up her food for her. She's in a fetal position. She's lost her identity.
Mm.
That's a lot. But yet she's here to talk about it. She overcame. And Lori, if nobody's told you, you were worthy in 2022 also.
Thank
It
you.
didn't feel, I know it didn't feel like it, but you were worthy then. I know you can see that now. So this is what I love about our network. It's not just sharing all the glory because we know people that reach success, they had to go through a lot to get there. And Lori's no different. So Lori, you've shared your low points, you've shared why you created the Be Awesome Network. Um, tell us what you've learned the most about being the founder of such a group. You're leading a group of what, almost 19,000 people now?
Yeah, 18.7, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I know there's many lessons, but what has been maybe up to this point the biggest takeaway so far?
I think the biggest takeaway so far is that when you believe in yourself, um, miracles can happen because when you don't have that self love, that self care, that self confidence, um, you are looking outside of yourself for those accolades, those those that confirmation. Um, and so what I learned is that once I started to appreciate who I was and kind of learn again who I was, and I went to Florida and had this grand adventure. I actually was on my own, and I like to call it with myself, not by myself, because I started to actually really enjoy being with myself and not and I like I'm a kind of cool person, right? So I was like, I'm enjoying this, right? I don't need someone
Love it.
else to be with me to give me that assurance. So that was a big lesson, and that's why I'm so passionate about telling people they're awesome is because we are worthy before we are like successful, right? So we are awesome. It's the same kind of feeling. We are awesome. We are full of awe. There's no one on earth exactly like you. There's no one that has the passions, the unique calling that you have. And so you have a voice, you have a mission. And that's what I learned is that I'm important and I'm leading this group, and people have messaged me before and said, "Thank you so much for what you do because it matters," right? And not that I need that, but it's good to hear because it just solidifies the fact that the impulses I had, the calling I had in my life is valid, and I think that's important for us to tell each other, but at the same time, I think that's important for you to wake up and know every single day. So, yeah.
I love that. I had a mindset coach. Actually, it was an associate of a mindset coach that I had. This is back maybe 3 4 months ago. Tell me that it would be a good practice for me, and this is for anybody, but she was telling me this specifically to look in the mirror and to really look intently in your eyes and tell yourself that you love yourself.
Hmm.
And she said it's going to be hard for you
Hmm.
because of a plethora of reasons where I struggled mindset wise, to the point where I put that off until about 2 weeks ago.
Wow.
And she warned me that it would be emotional. And I'm sitting there thinking about what we've talked about, like looking in the mirror and telling yourself you're awesome,
Hmm. Hmm.
looking in the mirror and telling yourself that you're worthy,
Yeah.
that you love yourself. It can be emotional.
Yeah.
And you know what? It was emotional, but it felt great too. And now I'm starting to get, it's not something I do all the time, but it's something I do occasionally when I need a little pick me up. So I just want to encourage all of you, if you've never done that before, it's a great exercise to get into the habit of doing once in a while. Um, Lori, are you able? I know that you have some exciting things in the works.
Yeah.
Are you able to share anything right now? Can we get a sneak peek, or is it still tight-lipped?
No, it's great. It's great. I just launched There's some things coming where I'm going to launch a program to support other entrepreneurs in the field of um, basically technology support, like how to do things like what we're doing. And there's a lot of entrepreneurs trying to be visible. And so I'm going to help with that. And that's a program I have coming up. I already have a program where you can broadcast into my network. And you know this, Steve, it's called the Winner's Circle. So I want to share my audience with other entrepreneurs who want visibility. And that's one of the things I love doing is giving them that opportunity to come and broadcast into the network. So I've got that program already established, which I love. I've got an Awesome Unlocked program, which is what you're on, Steve, that you're growing your group through my support and you're going to be visible in the network as well. And on top of that, you're getting training from Bump on how to grow your group. And it's very helpful. But the thing I'm very, very excited about right now is my retreat that is coming up in October. It's a Boss Babe retreat. So it's for women entrepreneurs who know they need to take a break, get away, open their minds, and dream again on their business, but also meet other women entrepreneurs who make that in-person connection. Because as amazing as this is to be the leader of a network and to be interviewing other people and to make connections online, which is very valid because I have made so many connections and made so many new friends all around the world through this. What I want to do is now take those friends, get them together in-person events so that we can actually meet each other and like, touch each other and hug each other, right? So that's why I'm very excited about the Boss Babe Beach Breakthrough retreat that's coming up in October. And it's in Cozumel, Mexico. So I would just say if you are a woman entrepreneur and you feel alone, like you're in this journey alone, which is very common, and all of your friends are doing something differently, but you're really trying to grow your business, then I would invite you to take a look at the Boss Babe retreat and come join me because it's going to be awesome.
Something told me when you were describing that event was not going to happen, with all due respect to Oklahoma City.
No.
Wow, Cozumel, that sounds exciting for sure. So, if that did pique people's interest, where would they learn more about that? We're going to put all your contact information and links in the show notes, but where could they find that?
Absolutely. It's bossbaberetreat.com. And you can also message me. I prefer to have a connection with you before you just sign up for my retreat. So if you want to message me, because I'll be tagged in this post, you can just friend me, message me, and we can chat more about it. But it's October 24th through the 28th. It's 5 days, 4 nights, all inclusive. So it's going to be amazing. And I've been to the resort itself, and it's really beautiful. And what those kind of trips do for me, even if it's just a vacation, which this is not just a vacation because we're going to be working on our businesses. We're also going to be broadcasting into the Be Awesome network. So you'll get visibility there. I'll be promoting your businesses before, during, after the retreat. Um, but what happens when you get into that environment is what's been my experience is, you're home, you're doing your business, you're kind of tunnel vision, you're taking care of your family or whatever you're doing. Maybe you have a full-time job and you're an entrepreneur. So you're like dialed in on all your to-do lists, but you don't really get a chance to dream big, to journal, to reflect, or to be around other people. The five you take 5 people in a room and you become better when you are around people who are ahead of you, or and you also learn things and your mind opens up. And then on top of that, you're on the beach. And for me, the nature of a beach, the waves, the sunshine, the wide open sky, the beauty and the warmth of the sun, the palm trees, all of that just shifts your mind automatically, just stepping into that place. So I can imagine that this 5 days, 4 nights is going to be transformational for everyone who comes. And that's what I'm really excited about.
Wow, I can see where you're getting excited about that. I mean, it's what, 2 months away? Not even less than 60 days away. And I'm sure even though it's, late August, I'm sure those spots are going to go fairly quickly. So if that it does interest any of you, reach out to Lori and have that conversation with her so you can learn more about it. Lori, we're gonna close out here in just a minute, but any last encouraging words that you want to leave the You Are Worthy Network? I got a feeling where you might go in part, but I'm not totally sure.
Yes. Well, I love to encourage people, as I said. So I'll just say what I always say in my network. And that is that I just want you to know that you're awesome. So if you're watching today, the live, or if you're watching the replay, I just want you to know that you're awesome. You're worthy and you're awesome. And when you start to believe that in your heart, because it all kind of starts in your heart, before it can go to your head, you have to place your hand on your heart and really tell yourself you're awesome. And like Steve mentioned, look yourself in the mirror and tell yourself you're awesome. You do that enough times and you hear that enough times, then you'll start to believe it. And once you can kind of feel when you're believing it in your heart, right? Once you believe it in your heart, your mind catches on and says, yeah. And then you start to show up in this world differently. You start to communicate differently. You start to dream big. You start to really look at where you are and how you can get to that next step. So I just want to make sure you know that you're awesome and that also that we can be awesome together. And that's why I love the Be Awesome Network, is because we're a community. Like this community, we're a community and we lift each other up and we spur one another on, right? So that's what I love about being here and having that message to spread. So believe it, you're awesome.
That's right. That's right. Lori, thank you so much for being with us today. And no surprise, your authenticity, your vulnerability, your kindness comes shining through. And I can't wait to get this episode up on the You Are Worthy Network. Guys, I just want to thank you all for your support. I was telling Lori before we even went live that, we're up to 320 viewers. And it's not the number itself, it's about each one of you. It's about each one of you feeling worthy and making a difference. And if you're still here today, then God has a plan for you. And I just want to encourage you with that. We have another live episode tomorrow, and Steve and Sylvia are going to be here with Kingdom Influencers. They also have the podcast, Saved by Grace podcast. I think you're really going to like them. And just like Lori, we have wonderful guests on here. If you're interested in doing an interview, reach out to me and we'll talk and we'll get that set up. But what I want to leave you with most today is just that reminder, just like Lori said, how many times do you hear a day that you're awesome? Not very often, but when you're talking to Lori, you're going to hear that at least once in your conversation that you're awesome. Just like when you talk to me, you're going to hear you are worthy. And the last thing I want to leave you with is God's not done with your story yet, not by a long shot. We appreciate each one of you. Thank you for joining us today. We'll see you tomorrow. God bless.
Awesome.